Hey everybody, I expect a lot of my favorite people in the world are out in front of me in the audience, so I thank you very much for being there today to celebrate my grandfather, and I regret that I'm not there with you. I'm very happy to announce my wife delivered earlier this week Grandpa's first ever great-grandchild named Theodore Edward Harbin. He shares a middle name with Grandpa and Cousin Ben. Smile. So I'm thankful to be with you in this capacity. I believe a death like this really causes a family to think back on their identity. It makes us realize the unique attributes that each family member brings to the table. And when they leave, like Grandpa has left us, those attributes are very vivid. And we're left wondering, how do we ever replicate for this family what Grandpa provided for us? The hard answer is that we can't possibly, but it does provide a good impetus for his descendants, and especially this younger generation, to think what sort of patriarchs and matriarchs we want to be for our families as we go forward into the future. So thinking about everything that Grandpa means to me and to us, the one thing that stood out to me is his propensity to share. Now, if you have ever asked him to share a slice of his apple pie or to share a bite of that hamburger he's eating, you're probably confused. He wasn't exactly disposed to do that kind of sharing. What I mean to say is he shared life with us. That was his happiness with his family. And so one example that really got me thinking about that attribute is last Christmas, my wife and I were in Tennessee, and we were sharing with our family the news that she was pregnant with our first child. And in some families, you might announce that you'll get congratulations for 2 minutes, and then they're talking about the Yankees or something trivial, weather. And by the way, I've taught Howells here. I do not mean to say that weather is trivial necessarily. But with our family, it meant something to them. We talked about it for hours. They were excited. And so excited that they wanted to share immediately with the Alabama Schwals who weren't there with us that day. So we got ready, we called them up. David and the boys wanted to do something creative to show them that Alyssa and I were having a baby. And so Grandpa volunteered himself as the mannequin upon which to bestow this news to everybody. In the background, David and the boys rigged up his hat to say, "Great Papa," meaning great grandfather. And I stalled Jessie all the while. I think I talked to her for like 30 minutes. It's 10 p.m. She's got Ben crawling over her. Emma Claire's snuggled up next to her. And here Morgan is telling her for 30 minutes about what he got for Christmas. It was exhausting, but she handled it very well. Thank you, Aunt Jessie. And eventually we were able to turn and reveal that Grandpa was going to be a great-grandfather, and that Nani was going to be a great-grandmother. Everyone got it. Everyone celebrated us. And I felt on top of the world that day. And I realized that's what I want to provide to the generations below me. That is the sort of attribute that Grandpa provided. It's the string that runs through our family, that propensity to share and celebrate each other. It manifests in a variety of other ways as well. I mean, you walk into Nani and Grandpa's house, and 9 times out of 10, Grandpa was standing there with a picture from the 40s or the 50s, wanting to show you a little tidbit of family history, right? Or I wanted to show you the entertainers that made him into the entertainer he came to be. Bob Newhart, Bob Hope, Laurel and Hardy. The Andy Griffith Show, of course, is a staple in my family. AM radio, for goodness sake. I never would have listened to it otherwise. And even the Beatles, of course, he shared with us. He and my sister had a lot of good back and forth over whether or not One Direction was a worthy successor to the Beatles. I think everybody here knows what Grandpa's answer to that is. He shared family memories. We all share Michigan as sort of a geographic heritage spot for all of us. But Nani and Grandpa, although none of us live in Michigan nowadays, Nani and Grandpa always made an effort to bring us back to Detroit, to Rogers City, to show what meant something to them at one point and what continues to mean something to this whole family. And it provided a cohesion in the family. We didn't feel removed from Nani and Grandpa's past in Michigan. We felt a part of it, and we feel equipped to bring that down to future generations as well. And we shared in family conversations. Grandpa was instrumental at the dinner table. Late at night, after dinner had been cleaned up, we'd sit over coffee for hours, and Grandpa and Nani would share stories from when my mom's generation were kids, and David and Danny and Mom and everybody would go back and forth. There'd be banter, there'd be jokes that as kids we just didn't understand, but we were really happy to be a part of it. We laughed anyways. That serves as an ideal for the sort of family I want to create as my wife and I have our family. It's one that shares, one that is cohesive, one that celebrates, one that jokes. It's an ideal that I try to create when people visit our home. I have many friends who are confused when I try to offer them coffee at 8 p.m. to sit there and talk. But it's just me trying to replicate the example that I've set, in large part by Grampa. Grampa shared. He really did, and he was there to capture a lot of moments. The mantra that was perhaps his greatest mantra all throughout life was, now he always had a Canon camera on hand. If anything cute or memorable happened with the grandkids and he wasn't quick enough to get it candid, he would call out to us, "Hey, do it again, kids." And when I look back on the 26 years I was able to share with Grampa, I think, man, I wish we could go back and do it again, kids.